Mm, hey, welcome everyone to Introducing the PodClass. We are back in business. Classes back in session. Okay. And I'm your host guide, Smart Video Girl. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Put a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know. Ooh, excuse me. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you are in the building. Send me a heart. Send me a like. Let me know that you are there. Okay. Let me know the class is full and that I have your undivided attention. As you guys know, we do not go that long, but we do get straight to it. But so, first and foremost, I want to say welcome back. Welcome back. It is episode 13 of our self mastery series. Okay, we took a break for the summer. You guys know I takes breaks, right? I takes breaks. But and so this summer break has been wonderful. I have done a lot of growing in that time. You see there's some things different here in the pod class, okay? But we are not changing what we have come to do, which is self-mastery, all right? So thank you for being here. I appreciate you all for tapping it. All right. So make sure you put your comments in there. Let me know you're here. All right. But we're gonna get right to it because I don't have no problem. I have no problem getting to it. Welcome back again. If this is your first time, welcome. If you have been here since the beginning, if you've been walking this journey out since episode 1, welcome home. Okay, the first half of the season helped us really discover ourselves. We took a look at ourselves, and now in this part of the season, we're going to learn how to live what we discovered, okay? We're going to learn how to live the lives that we want. In the art of becoming, we became something, we became aware of who we were, and now we get to walk in that. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited. So let's get right to it. Let's waste no more times, okay? Let's waste no more time, and let's get right into the thing. So, just a few announcements, just a few. All right. If you've been paying attention, we have a brand new segment. Okay, as part of the pod class. As part of the pod class, it is called Mindful Mondays. So on Mondays, you can check out Mindful Mondays. It'll be a brief segment where I come in and we recap kind of what we talked about. Okay, because this work is continuous. We're going to talk about what we talked about this week, and then kind of set the pace for what the week will be like, right? So it'll be a weekly dose of awareness, gratitude, and growth. That's what we're going to be doing in on Mindful Mondays. So make sure that you tune in on that. There is no time for that. Just make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube and you hit the notification bell so you do not miss anything as far as that is concerned. Okay, so that I want to make sure that I keep you up to date on that. And of course, this is your course material, the book. Do the work, keep the faith. Do the work, keep the faith is your course material. This book here is very helpful, especially for the first half of the season. All right. A lot of what I covered in the first half of the season is covered in this book. All right. So if you do not have it, make sure you grab it. It is on Amazon. It's on Books A Million, Barnes and Nobles, everywhere that books are sold. And if you would like a signed copy, you can reach out to me, send me a message, and I'll get you a signed copy because that's what I'll do. All right. And thank you. Gratitude to everyone who has purchased the book. Shout out and gratitude to everyone who has reached out to let me know that the book made an impact in your life. Okay. I appreciate the feedback. We all are growing. Okay. That feedback helps me. All right. All right. So let's get into it. As you know, what we do here at the podcast is we set an intention. We don't do anything without being clear about why we are here. So tonight's intention, the intention for tonight's show is choosing growth over comfort. So today, I choose growth over comfort because we are growing, okay? We are growing. And so let's talk about growth in the sense of growth is different than change. Now, everyone changes, all right? We are constantly changing. And I've said this several times if you've been following the podcast. I've said this several times. Everyone changes, okay? Change is inevitable in essence. But not everyone grows. And there's a difference. So change can happen automatically, right? You get older as the time goes, you get older. That's change, right? Your hair may change, even texture, your eye color might change, your height may change. These things are changing. You may see them as growth, but it's your physical being changing, right? Growth, because see, that's natural. You don't have to do anything in order for yourself to grow, but to change. But growth is intentional. Growth requires watering. Growth requires being explicit about what you need in order to grow, right? Some plants need more sunlight than others, okay? You can scorch a plant if you give it too much sun and it doesn't require that. So growth has to be intentional because change is inevitable, all right? We're all going to change, but how we change is the trajectory. That's our growth, okay? So we want to be intentional about our growth, all right? And so real quick for last season, a few things that we covered in the first semester of the pod class in self-mastery was awareness, thoughts, our emotional intelligence, boundaries, purpose, and becoming. And I'm putting this on here so that we can kind of see what we did in the first season. We did a lot of work of becoming aware, being present to how we were being, to who we were. Right? We examined all of who we were. We became aware of our thoughts. We became aware of how we showed up in situations. We became aware of the thoughts in our heads, right? That were not ours and that were others. We became aware of our environments and how our environments play a role in our lives, right? We even looked at our purpose, how we are in and on for purpose, right? So we really took a look at of who we were, who we chose, who we were choosing to be, who we were remembering ourselves to be. And this part of the season, we're going to get to live that, okay? We're going to get to live a life that we believe. We're going to get to be intentional in this second semester about self-mastery, where we say, I know who I am, and I am going to be all that I am. So that's what this second half of the season is really all about, all right? So let's go. The growth season begins. This is where we are. We are in our growth season. So if you have the book, if you're familiar with the book, in here there is I talk about the 6 human needs. So we have 6 human needs, and the first 4 needs we did cover in the first part of the season. The first semester we talked about the need for love, the need to be feel significant, right? The need for variety, and then the need for um, well, stability, basically, right? So there's those two things, right? So the need to know, basically. So, but in addition to those four needs, we also have the need to grow and the need to contribute. And so when we talk about a human need, growth is part of the process. Growth is a human need. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about change being inevitable. People are going to change. Growth is a natural human process. It's a natural human need. We need to grow. You don't get to stay a baby. That part of the evolution of who you are is to grow, to get bigger, to change, to evolve, right? But your growth season is intentional. This is where you now get to take the steering wheel, be co-creator with God, and grow into who you were always meant to be, aligned with your authentic self, right? Aligned with your authentic self. That's what we're doing. All right, peace, peace, peace. Yes. Welcome to the PodClass. We got a new class going on here, and because we're talking about growth, and we're really going to be intentional about our growth this season. So, growth isn't something that happens to you; it's something that you choose. I recently was on Pro Noya Starseed podcast last month as the self mastery guru, and the topic was chance, chase, choose, right? Chance, chase, choose, or choice. And in that show, we were talking about choosing, moving to being intentional about the choices that you make in the life that you want to create for yourself, and not being subjected to chance, which is to me by me, right? Or chasing, where we know when you chase anything, whatever you chase runs from you. So now we're not chasing, we are choosing to call in those things that we want. So growth isn't something that just happens. Again, it's not by chance. You don't grow by chance. You grow intentionally. So you choose. This is something that you have to choose to do. Otherwise, you can. So, okay, perfect example. This just came to me. It's my analogies. So, potatoes, when they sit long enough, they start to the little buds start to grow on them. That's just chance. That's just going to happen. The chances of a potato resprouting itself are it's going to happen. Right? That's not a choice. It is inevitable. Right? But that is also, that's a couch potato in a sense. You can become a couch potato. You will inevitably grow within yourself just by doing nothing, just by sitting and being in the space. You don't want that type of growth. You want to be intentional. You want something that you choose. And in that choice, some of the things that you have to do and to evaluate is to ask yourself questions. If you are not asking yourself questions about you, then you have no clarity as to where you are growing. You are leaving that up to chance. Ask yourself questions. Now that you have collected the data, right? We have examined, okay, first semester, everything that you became aware of in that first semester, the truth of your being eternal. Ask yourself the questions that help you remind yourself to stay aligned with who you were created to be, because that's what happened in the first season. right? The first half of the semester, we learned who we were. We remembered who the hell we were. We woke up. We said, I know who I am. And so now in this season of growth, we have to be accountable to ourselves, ask ourselves the questions that hold us accountable to stay in line to who we say we are. And then are we telling ourselves the truth? Because it does no good if you're going to lie to yourself. That is called cognitive dissonance. Those are the lies that we tell ourselves. You cannot grow if you tell yourself a lie. Period. If you know that in your heart of hearts, you are not being genuine. It's not that you are not a genuine person. Let's be clear. You are not being genuine. Your actions and behavior, meaning that your actions or behavior are out of line from who the truth of your being is. If you are operating out of integrity of the truth of who you are you true to yourself? Are you honest with yourself to say, I need to change this behavior in order to grow and be aligned with who I know myself to be? So again, growth, it doesn't happen by chance. You can't just want to change. You have to be intentional about growing. And when you see yourself in a space, when you are doing some things that are behaviors and actions because you're on autopilot, but you now are the observer, but you are on autopilot, and you see yourself behaving out of alignment, do you have the integrity? Do you have the discipline within yourself to make corrective action? That is what's going to help you grow. You have to choose that. Are you telling yourself the truth? Are you asking yourself the questions? And are you living what you believe or what you know to be true, which is the truth of your being is eternal? Are you living that? That is how growth becomes intentional. That's how the evolution of who you were created to be, the self that you are. That is how you align. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. That's how you take all the information that you learned in the first semester, all the awareness about your thoughts and your feelings, and then you put that into practice so that you can co-create. I'm excited about it. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about it. Okay, so there's 3 truths about growth. There are 3 truths about growth. Y'all know what? And I'm gonna come back to that in a second because I totally forgot. Totally forgot something. 3 truths about growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Because think about it. Think about a seed, and you've probably heard this before. But think about a seed, planted deep, buried in the ground. If it's buried in the ground, peace, knowledge, peace, brother, knowledge, peace, sis, Pronoia, Starseed Podcast, peace, Cortland Jones. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Patricia. Sometimes change is difficult. We want to stay in the comfort zone. Even if the comfort zone is something, sometimes self-discipline. Even if the comfort zone is sometimes self-discipline. You have to if you never. 3 truths about growth. It is uncomfortable. Because you now have to be, again, honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth, okay? Growth is intentional. You have to be intentional. You have to have clarity. You have to know what it is. You cannot want to be a daisy and thinking you're going to get a rose. Like, intentional. You have to know that this plant that you are putting in the ground is going to grow into what you intended it to be. And growth truly never ends. Okay. So if you know, just like the seasons, there's a cycle. Growth is a cycle. You go through cycles in your growth. You go through seasons in your growth. Okay. So no matter what part of the season you're in this growth process, just know that it never ends. You cannot want to get to a point and say, I'm done growing. That is delusional. Growth is inevitable. I want to give a shout out to my mother, right? Yeah, so give a shout out to you, boo. Love you, boo, because she is someone who believes that growth is possible, who is, doing her work. She is doing her work. And, sometimes she needs a reminder. Well, sometimes we need a reminder to do our work. But she's not okay with just being an elder, not knowing that she has not fully grown into her full potential, and there's still a lot of growth that she can do, and no one can tell her what that is. Even as the self-mastery guru and as her daughter, I know for a fact, I sometimes I say, Mom, and I talk to her, but I cannot tell her what her journey is. Like, she knows what her journey is. And she is still growing. So shout out to my mom, who is an example of that growth never truly ends. It is continuous. And as long as you are willing to do the work, as long as you are willing to do the work that is you will grow. Because that's the other thing. You will grow. The intentionality behind growth will allow you to grow. Okay? I'm super excited about it. All right. So, seasons of growth. Just like I just said, as I was saying earlier, there are seasons in our personal growth. All of us are not at the same stage. Okay. And just like in nature, you're going to experience all of these parts of growth. So I want to give a little overview of what it looks like, right? So that you can be aware on your journey of what this growth process looks like. So planting, and a lot of what we did in the first semester was planting. Okay. We planted some new seeds. We became aware of a lot of things. We noticed what ground was fertile to plant in, right? What seeds we wanted to plant and what things we wanted to throw away, right? So we decided we were going to plant in good soil. We were going to create this new thing. And so now we're in this growth process, right? We're in the class. We're in the growth process. We grow now. Once you have planted, once you have gotten an idea of who you are, you remembered who the hell you were, and now you are working on living the life that you believe, you are growing. And as you start to grow, and when you start to break through the soil, now you're blooming, right? And when you're blooming, that's when the growth on the inside, that work that you do, that work that is you, that people start to see that. That's the blooming. When people see it, that's the blooming. That's you letting your light shine for all to see. Okay? That's the blooming process season in the growth. And then there's the pruning. And the pruning is where you go back and reevaluate. You know what I'm saying? You want more fruit next. You want to be more fruitful. You want to multiply even more. You want to shed all of even more things that do not align with who you were created to be. I can create so much more fruit. I can be so much more productive. I can be so much greater. I can be so much better. I am so much better. There is so much room for growth in me. And so in the pruning season, you decide what doesn't work, what does work. Yeah, I don't like that anymore. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something different. Pruning is basically kind of, getting rid of shedding those things. I don't know the technical term. Maybe somebody can help me out because I ain't even going to sit here and lie to you like that. So pruning, I do not have a green thumb. As much as I love to use plant analogies, I don't know what pruning really is. So let me look it up. Okay, cutting away. I just want to be correct. Cutting away dead, loose, or unwanted branches, roots, stems from the plant to help it grow better. That is what we do in our growing process. We prune the things that no longer align, the things that do not work as you're growing, and this is, again, it's a continuous process, because what worked for you today may not work for you tomorrow. How you survived, how you made it through 10 years ago may not be applicable for today. If you were avoiding the situations before because you were in an environment that allowed you to be able to avoid it and be unseen in your avoidance, just know that you have to grow out of that if you want to grow into situations that are going to be more aligned for you. If you want to continue to avoid things, then you're going to continue to have situations in which to avoid. So unless you want to step into the essence of not being an avoidant, stepping into the power of who you are, you're going to continue to experience the things that cause you to fret the way you do or have been in the past. Growth requires you to prune and make a change if you want to see things grow. And then resting, because resting is always, you always have to rest. Rest is divine. Rest is what they say. Rest is godly. You definitely better rest. Okay, you definitely better rest. So, the quote for today is for this week. I have two. I have another one towards the end, I believe. But this is: you cannot rush a season that was designed to develop you. You cannot rush a season that was designed to develop you. So in your growth process, in your growth, just know that you cannot rush it. There's no shortcut to your growth. Don't use no magic grow nothing. Don't use no special chemicals. Let it be organic. Okay? Let your growth be organic. Don't let your growth be man-made. No GMO growth. You want organic growth so that you can be, the truest, purest essence of who you were created to be. All right. So before we go any further, before I go into, you guys know what we do here. We're going to have our quiz. We're going to do a quiz, and in this quiz, we're going to kind of gauge where we are. What stage of growth are we in? Okay. What stage of growth are we in? So I want you to think about this as we're moving forward. So what I'm going to do is do the musical therapy, because y'all let me skip right over the musical therapy part. And because I was so excited about the new classroom, I forgot all about the musical therapy. So we're going to do some musical therapy, because y'all know I love me some musical therapy. But before we do that, what I want you to think about as we go into the musical therapy and then into the quiz is knowledge isn't a measure. It's not measured by what you know, okay? Knowledge is not measured by what you know. It's measured by what you consistently practice, okay? Applied knowledge is wisdom. Unapplied knowledge That's what we call potential. If you know all these things about yourself, but you have not applied them to your growth process, then you have done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right, so let's do some musical therapy. We're going to clap for ourselves, and then when we come back, we're going to take a quiz to see where we are at. All right. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
That's a celebration. Celebration of you. You did it, you made it. Yeah. This for them days I was sleeping on floors, stressing my body was seep through my pores. To get all this peace, I fought on them wars. Heart was purple, but got no awards. Remember I slept in a Honda Accord, was calling my plug I couldn't afford. Even the gram, remember I posted to pick up on the gram, they didn't give a damn. Remember them nights I wanted to quit, at the job waiting for something to shift. They pay you enough to sit on your gifts, but know that you gifted, don't never forget. Remember them days I stayed up, when all of my niggas was laid up, but I'm still here, they gave up. Remember, this what I prayed for. This for them nights I stayed in the house, putting in work when I could've went out. This for them days that I went out, still putting in work, could've stayed on the couch. This for them days the nights was grim, but I still shine though the lights was dim. Could've filled my plate up to the brim, but I got up and I went to the gym. This for them days they was shitting on me, felt like they all was quitting on me. Could've crashed out, let it get to my head. They left me for dead, but I'm back now. I'm protected, they can't get a hold of me, cause God always been close to me. I made it so I give a toast to me. That's cause I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Clap. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself.
Clap for yourself.
Clap for yourself.
Don't you mistake it, I'm grandmama baby. Look at little 20, done grew up and made it. Hard work and patience, I balance my cadence. I get a win, I won't frequently chasing. That was okay, but it's levels and stages. Peaks and valleys and heavier wages. I grew out of phases in deep isolation. Chaos is dormant, my spirit's awakened. Why you never satisfied? All that guilt from success had me traumatized. Didn't wanna live on when my daughter died. Every ounce of that pressure had been applied. This shit bigger than fame and a money wall. Tell me, what do you see when you look inside? Everything I could dream, I could fantasize. Love my people, I see them through heaven's eyes. I'm so proud of myself, like you did it, dog. Independent, my plats need a bigger wall. Had to stand on my square like it's pickleball. Mama caught me like, baby, you standing tall. That's the majors I managed to still evolve. Clap, you deserve it. It was me on them long nights, all that praying and wishing for better life. Back when working that double, I hated life. In the jungle, subconscious in paradise. It was me who discerned all the parasites. All the losses, the lessons, you wear it right. All the blood, sweat, and tears, and the sacrifice. Probably gonna get my flowers in afterlife. I believe you, little homie, I see it clear. Got knocked down and I popped back in third gear. God reminded me, boy, you belong here. Clap. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. For all of the times that you doubted yourself. Clap for yourself. For all of the times that you doubted yourself. Yeah. Clap for yourself.
All right, what it is, clap for yourselves. Clap for yourself. Yes, clap for yourself.
And with GoDaddy Aero AI Builder, you can have one ready to go before the lunch rush.
Clap for ourselves. All right, yeah, so that was a little AJ McQueen musical therapy. Clap for yourself. All right, clap for yourself, because we are growing. We are in a growth season, and we are clapping for ourselves, because if we don't do it, who gonna do it for you, right? So clap for yourself. All right, again, you cannot rush a season that was designed to develop you. So clap for yourself for everything that you've been through. Clap for yourself. If you watched the Mindful Monday, the gratitude for that was, I am grateful for how far I have come. Clap for yourself. That's it. All right, so quiz time. I hope you're ready. If you're new, we do quizzes here. This is a pod class, okay? Introducing pod class. We learn here. All right. So, what growth season are you in? As usual, per usual, there are 5 statements on the board. You see the 5 statements. You rate each statement from 1 to 5. 1 being very confident, 1 being not confident, 5 being confident about where you are in your growth process. So the first one is I embrace challenges. Do you embrace challenges? Is it a no for you? This is 1. If it's a yes for you, put a 5, okay? All right. I stay consistent. Be honest with yourself. Please be honest with yourself. I stay consistent. What is consistent? And when you want to see change, what is consistent? If you're consistent, but you're not seeing growth, is that consistent? Be honest with yourself. Okay? Number 3, I learn from mistakes. Do you learn from your mistakes? Do you make changes from those mistakes when you learn from those mistakes? Okay? Number 4, I seek feedback. Do you have community? This is important when you talk about environment. Do you have an environment where you can seek feedback, right? That will help you gauge your growth. Honest feedback. Accountable feedback. All right. And the last one, I celebrate progress. I clap for myself. Hey, I clap for myself. Hey, I clap for myself. Do you do that? So that's what you are. This is where we are. Those are the 5 points. You want to add up your points. Okay. Add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Calculate it. All right. All right. And then now you can kind of see where you are at in your growth season. Okay. 5 to 9, you just coming out the box. You in that seed stage. Okay. That's okay. 10 to 14, you're planted. You're in there. You're in the ground. And you're germinating. You're doing a lot of inner work. You still in the first semester of the pod class, right? You are determining what works for you. You're becoming aware of your thoughts. You're becoming aware of how you show up in situations. You are becoming aware of your purpose. You are coming into the knowledge that the truth of your being is eternal. Okay? That is rooting. You are starting to, roots are getting dug deep into the soil, and soon you're going to be blossoming. You're about to break through. And then if you're doing 15 to 19, now you're blooming. You're breaking through. You done broke through, right? You got a little leaf hanging out on the side. You may got a little petal. You got maybe a little color. If you colorful, you ain't got no color yet, but you got some green coming through, right? You blooming. We see you. You coming through, and I like it. And then 20 to 25, you are thriving. You are a beautiful flower. You are shining bright like the diamonds. Where are you? Okay? Where are you in your growth season? So, yes, you can share it in the chat. I believe, yes, Cortland shared his in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing, Cortland. And for being here. So y'all know what it is. You do homework. We have homework around here. We have homework because the work is you. The work is you. Let me see if I can see if you guys can see my back of my shirt. The work is you. Let me know. I think it looks good. The work is you. And the key to that is to understand that if you come to the pod class but you're not doing your homework, if you come to the pod class and you haven't become aware, if you come to the pod class and you have absorbed the information, but you have not applied the knowledge so that it become wisdom for your growth, then have not done the work. Okay? So we want to grow. That is the point. The growth is a key element in this course. Growth. How do you pass? You grow. Okay? You don't stay stagnant, you grow. So this week, choose one area of your life. Commit to one intentional act of growth each day. What is going to be something that's going to break you out of your comfort zone? What is something that is going to plant you, root you in a new habit, a new behavior that is aligned with who you are? And then the journal prompt, right? Your journal prompt. What did I learn about myself today? What did I learn about myself today? Because that's what's going to happen when you grow. You learn things about yourself. You realize, oh my goodness, I am learning to be more consistent. I am learning to not be so passive. I am learning to reciprocate. I am learning to use my voice. Okay? So what did you learn about yourself? What are you learning? Or, and again, this observation, let it be fun. So in the first semester, we learned, we looked at all those things. And as you're going through the growth process, right? Remembering the stages of the growth process. Let me go here. When you get to the pruning part, like, I don't know about you, but when you get to the pruning part, I'm actually excited about pruning. I want to get rid of anything that does not align with who I am, who I was created to be. Please let it be removed. Let it be exercise the demons. Let them be exorcised from out of me. And I have to be the one to do that. So if I become aware of behaviors and actions and thoughts that do not align with who I am more than happy to examine them and pluck them bad boys right out of my life. I am ready to prune the things that do not align or that don't allow me to be the best version of myself. Okay. Congratulations. 19, all right, you're blooming. We see you blooming out here in these streets. I like it. I like that. We're blooming for all my bloomers out there. So again, homework. Choose one area that you want to commit to intentional active growth every day. What is it that you want to do? And if journaling is something that you do not do, let that be one. And start with the journal prompt. What did I learn about myself today? Let your journal be your therapist. Okay. All right. Gratitude moment. As we take the time to wrap this up, I want to thank you all for being here and attending the class today. Don't forget, if you do not have the book, grab the book. Do the work, keep the faith, aligning with your authentic self. All right. This book has been the guide for a lot of the content that we talked about in the first semester of this pod class. And we will continue to use this book, but really, you are going to have to utilize your journals on this next leg. It's not going to just be you showing up to the podcast. And I've said this before, you can come and look at my beautiful face. I really appreciate it. but it does nothing for your growth, and that's what I'm interested in. So, gratitude moments. Gratitude moment today. I am grateful that growth is a process and not a race. Hallelujah. Okay? I am grateful that growth is a process and not a race. And today we know the process, right? We know the process. We know what it takes for us. Okay, and I'm just gonna say this because I am not. So you see, I have a beautiful plant back here. I have this plant I've been nurturing, and the reality is I'm not really a plant person. I'm not. And so, but I challenged myself. I said, let me challenge myself to see if I can take care of a plant. Okay. And in that, it's taking care of myself because the intentionality that you have to do with plants is that same intentionality that you have to do with yourself. You have to be intentional to water yourself, give yourself the correct nutrients, sunlight, environment that you need, okay, in order for you to grow into the optimal plant. And when something is wrong with your plant, like there's these leaves at the top, I think I'm going to have to, I don't know if it is not getting enough water at the top here. Maybe it's not getting enough water at the top. Maybe I need to prune something and do something different in order for it to get what it needs. This is the same thing. So, and this is the same thing with our growth process. We have to, let's look at the process again so we can see it, so we can put it in our minds what it looks like. This is the process. So when you're growing in your own personal season, know where you are. Allow yourself to bloom. Allow yourself to be bright. Let your light shine. Let that little flower just be open, right? And then allow yourself to prune. Let those things fall off. Because see, that's the other thing. In pruning, sometimes you don't have to pick it off. They will just fall off. Sometimes it will just fall off. So let those things fall. Let those things go. We can't hold on to everything. We got to let some things go. Okay? All right. If you enjoyed the class today, if you heard something that resonated with you, please share it in the comments. Please let me know what stood out to you, what was a major takeaway that you could use, that you would be willing to share, that you think would be helpful for someone else, and introduce it to them. Introduce a new way of thinking to someone who may not know or understand, right? Because this is a disclaimer for this semester. You're going to hear things repeated that you're going to be like, she keeps saying the same thing. Yes, you are correct. Because two things, there's not that much new under the sun. And if people are honest, a lot of people just be saying the same things over and over again anyway. They just be talking nonsense. But the difference is what we're going to be doing here is really ingraining, having impactful conversation and instruction so that it sticks. Because growth is the key. We want it to stick. It doesn't matter how many times you hear it. Because knowledge, unapplied knowledge, is a wasted time and energy. Knowledge, applied knowledge, is wisdom. And many of us, when we talk about the stages of learning, we do not do what we know. The irony. I know, but I do not do. Unapplied knowledge. Unapplied knowledge is wasted time and energy. And what we are doing is we are transmuting that energy. We are applying the knowledge that we have gained about ourselves We are applying the knowledge that we have gained about ourselves into wisdom that will allow us to grow into who you were created to be. All right. So I hope that today's lessons reminded you that growth is not a destination that you will arrive at. Okay. It is a process. It's the decision that you make every single day that you wake up, every thought, every choice, every conversation, every act of gratitude, every act of pure love. This is part of your growth process. This is part of your growth season. And I am so honored to walk beside you in this process. And until the next class. Oh, real quick. So, final reflection. Growth asks not what did I accomplish, but who did I become, right? Who did I become in all of the growth, in all the planting, in all of the breakthrough, all of that? Who did I become? In all of that work that I put into me, who did I become? All right, until next week. All right, we will be back next week. The podcast will be on next week. Do your homework. Don't forget to do your homework, and I will see you next week. Class is dismissed. And with that, we are out. Peace.